You all come on in when you see me show up. Click it, click it. Come on and click it. Come on in. I want to offer you my tone deaf voice. Got a little song for you. Come on in. All is welcome. I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in the darkness of night. See, I got off. You are closer than no other. I've known you as a father. I know you as a friend. And I have lived in the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. You all come on in, click it, click it. My name is Vanessa, come on in. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Hello, YouTube. Come on in, you all. Come on in and click that button. Let's talk about control. Control is oppression. Control is. And let's see what the Bible says about oppressing the poor. More specifically, I'm talking today about oppressing of the poor. And the poor is not just poor financially. The Bible speaks of spiritual poorness too. And poorness can come in material things as absolute poor, relative poor. It's not just one level of poorness. Because there's many poor people who are financially poor, but they don't see themselves as poor. And even if they identify as poor, they say, all my needs are met. I'm just fine. I manage. I know how to work with poorness. Because a lot of poor people, if they are especially generational poor, they grew up poor, they already know how to make ends meet. And they go to work, they manage every day, and they do what they got to do with what they have to work with. Look at this economic position that we're in this in the Democratic administration. Many people have learned how to fight through resilience. They have learned to do more with little. So we have found some strength in ourselves, if we can't say nothing else. We have found some strength because with all these layoffs and firings and plant and company closures, people have been having some difficult times, but they seem to travail and push through. So, but let's look at what the Bible says about poorness. In Proverbs 14:31, whoever oppresses a poor man insults his maker, but he who is generous to the needy honors his maker. Insulting the poor is withholding our goods. We see that in 1 John 3:17. If anyone has the world's goods, material means, and sees his brother in need, yet he clothes his bowels of compassion, he does not have the love of God abiding in him. Now, this again, charity starts at home. You can't give away something you don't have or you barely skating by, and you don't see fit to give it, because if you get it now, you're going to be asking for that same thing. You have to see where you can give it. Because even in times of There's, I would say, famine. Even in poor people's poor situations, they can see fit to spare and share with somebody else. So that's an individual thing. What can you spare? What can you give? Because the Bible does say, give what you need also. If you have need of somebody helping you, see fit to help somebody else. You might have some clothes in your home that your children have outgrown, and you can clean those clothes up, fold them up, make them neat, and give them to somebody who has same size children that you have, and they can fit those clothes. Then help somebody else out. Give what you stand in need of, because you need somebody to help you out. So we want to use our compassion also in those times of helping somebody else. Now, what are the rights of the poor according to Bible teaching? The Bible says that the poor should not be treated unjustly and unjustly overlooking them. Um, I've heard people say things like, and you all probably have too, they're lazy. Some people may be, because the Bible does say the poor will be with you always. There's too many people. Some people desire to live in a certain condition because they don't want responsibility. Other people have fallen on hard times, and they don't wish to stay in that type of position. And then we can be lazy, or we say procrastination, and we're not digging ourselves out of positions and conditions. So there's different reasons for those things happening. And then we know that people can have a mental or a physical delay or development, and that can cause them, if they don't have somebody to help them manage, that can cause them to be in poor conditions also. And that's unfortunate. People need help. They need someone to help them manage their funds and get them in safety and proper housing, and make sure that they have healthy, nutritious food. Also, we should not pity. The Bible doesn't tell us to pity the poor. We're supposed to have compassion upon one another. But to pity somebody means to say, I think I'm better than you. Our conditions may be different. Our opportunities may even be different. But I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. Humans are not better than another. We have different opportunities that avail to us, and different people take advantage of their opportunities. But no, we don't look down on the person and pity them. Oh, poor pitiful them. No, the person needs information, because let's look at also the poor needs the gospel. What if they're spiritually poor? There could be a person of means, they're middle income earners or rich, and they could be spiritually poor. When the John's disciples in the was that I think it's in the book of Matthew. I'm not gonna go there. You all could look that up. John's disciples came to Jesus. They heard about his ministry and what was happening in the community. And they came to him and said, John sent us to find out, are you the Messiah? Are you the one that we should be expecting? Or should we be expecting another? He didn't say, I'm him. And he didn't say no. But he says, go and tell him. And I'm trying to recall you all. The blind sees, the lame walks, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hears, the dead is arisen. I think he said, and the gospel is preached to the poor. So he was telling him his mission. In the book of Isaiah, he has a mission, what he was coming to do. So he was proclaiming and affirming, this is what's happening in the community amongst the people. So you all surmise for yourself, am I him? And you can determine if you need to be looking for another. So he said he preached the gospel to the poor in understanding. Remember, we have to take God in his totality. He doesn't put down on the human, but God is up front with us humans, the state of who we are, the state of affairs of the human. We all have to come into the understanding of who God is and how he operates. He says, seek my face. That's his ways. Thank you all for showing up. I sure appreciate you. Hello, hello, hello. I see you speaking to me. Thank you for being here. Hit that like button if you don't mind. We're on your way in. So we have another passage I was thinking about the different fertile grounds of our understanding. I made another video on about 3 days ago. I don't remember the title of that video. talking about our different fertile grounds, where it says that seed it falls on stony ground, and it falls on stony ground. Again, we're talking about our understanding. Then it could have no depth. It cannot take root in hard soil, so it can't germinate and produce. And then the sun will scorch that seed and kill it. Then the seed can fall amongst the wayside, and fowl come and eat it up. That we still see the word is being presented to us, but we don't take use of it, don't do anything with it. So it just falls by the wayside. It's still unproductive, not being used. Then it says this seed can fall on good ground. Now I might be forgetting one of my grounds. I think it's only 3 grounds that's mentioned. Fall on good ground. That's when we hear the word, we receive it and do something with it, apply it in our life. Because if we're applying it internally to our character, applying the principles of the living God, so that he can do a change within us. Because otherwise, the word is a dead word if we don't apply it. And it says we have faith, but it's a dead faith that's not being applied. It can't grow. If it's not being used, then what good is it, right? So that's spiritually poor, and that abides amongst the rich, the middle class, and the financial poor. So it's not just a material poorness that we're talking about oppression. Also, oppression is to withhold from people who are financially poor, is to withhold and not teach. Because the poor cannot, even if a person who is financially poor, everybody is at different levels of financial means. Because the middle income can still stand to grow if they want to grow to different financial heights. And then the poor can stand to grow to different financial means and heights. So to withhold and tell a person you're not capable, or you're marginalized, you're victimized. So that's planting seeds of doubt. That's planting seeds to tell a person you're incapable and you're going to need all this extra help. Well, why? A person might need help temporarily. Everybody needs some type of help. But to tell a person you are marginalized, and that person start buying into it, because you get to decide whether you buy information or not. If you buy that, then you might be prone to stay in that condition, in that position, instead of telling the person and encouraging them to keep propelling forward, keep thriving forward, keep pushing, do the best and the most you can with the life that you have been given. So that's a type of oppression also, is to tell a person or encourage a person and stigmatize a person, you're this. Well, if you are a Christian, whose report are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the report of communities around you who's talking down to you? Or are you going to receive the report of the Lord? He tells us how to get up, how to mobilize, how to move forward. Don't stay in a defeated situation. You don't have to let anything defeat you, but you decide. You're going to take the report of the Lord, you're going to apply it to your life so that you can move yourself out of a condition that you don't want to be in. You're not satisfied with that kind of position, but you found yourself in it. But guess who can bring themselves out of that position? Stop believing the report of the tongues that lie to you, even if those tongues is your lying thoughts. You grew up in a situation and you don't see yourself to be able to reach a status because you don't see anybody around in your immediate community who does it. The people who you surround yourself with, they don't do too much. But that don't have to be you. You can show them the way. You can be the light and encouragement for them by you striking out and doing something different. But look at this also. I want to bring this. I was just reading Romans. No. Let me correct that. The book of Numbers. And that's the 31st chapter, I believe. Let me go there. I was just reading that the other day. And that is Numbers. And I believe it is 31. See if I get that really quick. 31. And this was in, again, the Bible just have nuggets all throughout it because the Old Testament is a testimony, right? The testimony of these people's lives is the encouragement to the New Testament saints of what or who God is. He always is. He's a God that never changed. You all hit the like button on your way in. And this is 30. to 32. The book of Numbers, chapter 32. Let me give you this little part here. So the people of Israel, they're on their way to possess the promised land that God has given them. And it's mainly in Canaan. But we see that the tribe of Reuben and the tribe of Gad, they didn't want to go over to Jordan to take inheritance on the other side of the Jordan. They want to stay in Gilead. So they decided the representatives approach Moses and Eleazar and Joshua, because Joshua is the next upcoming leader here, to proclaim what they want. And this is what Moses put them in remembrance of. And this is tying in, okay, to the control and oppression. And at I'm going to go with verse 9. Talking about the forefathers of these particular people who just approached Moses. Because these people was children when this first event occurred, but now they've grown up. It's 40 years later. In verse 9, for when they went into the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel, that they should not go into the land which the Lord had given them. And the Lord's anger was kindled the same time, and he sware, saying, surely none of the men that came out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward shall see the land which I swear to Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me, except for Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, I'm messing that up, you all, and Joshua, the son of Nun. They wholly followed the Lord. And the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of the Lord was consumed. That's a mighty statement there, you all. And behold, ye are risen up in your father's stead, an increase of sinful men, to augment yet the fierce anger of the Lord toward Israel. So I want to bring out there what Moses pointed out. He said your forefathers tried this same thing. God sent them on a reconnaissance trip to spy out the land of Canaan, to see what was the lay of the land, what was the resources, how did they live. And the people came back intimidated. 10 of the 12 men, the representatives that went on that reconnaissance trip, came back and said, we'll be not able to overtake those people. We look like grasshoppers in their sight, and I'm sure that we look like that in their sight too. But Joshua and Caleb stood up and said, no, we can do it. Those 10 men got so upset, they wanted to take Joshua and Caleb out of the camp and stone them, beat them up. They got into a conflict right there, a heated argument. They was telling them, shut up, we can't do it. They became intimidated. Now, when you go further over into that, where that episode happened, I think it's around chapter 15 of Numbers. It might be a little further. Caleb said, well, God has already weakened their defense. He's helping you out by weakening their defense. They are mightier men than you. But if God's sent you somewhere, he's already made the way possible. You just have to not let fear grip you and go. It's going to be a challenge, but go anyway. God is helping you. He already knows what's sitting ahead of you. So Joshua and Caleb agreed that though they were outnumbered, maybe the men were stronger. He said, but God has weakened their defense. We can overtake them. So, but because those men downplayed that mission, they said, we can't go. We should just stay out of those people's business. Let them handle their own trouble. We don't need to go that way. They doubted God, and they refused to go on the mission. So Moses put them in remembrance of that right here. And he said, that's why they stayed for 40 years. Because that generation had to die out. Ain't that something, you all? They had to die out, and this is the way of God. He said, the doubters, they're hindering you. They're hindering you. They're telling you about what you can't do. When God said, go do it, I'm making it possible for you. But if you talk yourself out of it and you let those around you, your community members, those in whatever the society is talking about, you believe the report of the news reports, and they're talking about negative things, and now you already sitting with this idea that God is already planting in your heart. Maybe you had a night vision or a day vision or however you got the information, because God said He would give us creative ideas to get well, and you want to do it. You already see this gifting in your hand. You need to learn a new skill, but doubt. You want to share your good news with somebody else and think they will be encouraging you. And what do they do? Talk it down. No, you ain't gonna be able to do that. I don't see somebody gonna put their foot on your neck. You ain't gonna be able to do that. They ain't gonna let you do that. Talking the mission down, and you sit for another 40 years. Now you're discouraged with your life. Maybe because the Bible does also say what we don't use, God will take it. If you don't use a gift, He said, I'll take it and give it to somebody else. And now you're disappointed. I used to be on fire for the Lord. I used to have these big plans and these goals I wanted to do, and I could just see myself doing it. But time got by. You let people talk it down out of you instead of getting busy. Even the business of just writing your business plan, writing the mission out. Start putting it on pen and paper. Do something, get moving, instead of letting those around you say, you can't do that. You ain't gonna be able to do it. I ain't never seen nobody do it, child. Let me tell you, because my uncle, my cousin did that, and they, but you're not their uncle. You're not their cousin. You're you. Here Moses warned the people. He said, if you try to follow after your forefathers, do it if you want to. Follow your grandfathers, your great grandfathers, and you representatives right here. The leadership of a few can cause other people to fall and falter and stumble around. He said, you will cause your generation to stay right here for 40 years again. Isn't that something, you all? That is something. How everybody, we all can influence somebody else not to do something, not to move forward. Have a pity in your mouth. I can't do that. I don't see how we're gonna be able to do that. I ain't never seen it done. That's what our forefathers did, and our generations before us. But you know, that's not you. This is your opportunity, your life right now. God gave you the breath in your lungs. You're on borrowed time. We all are. Borrowed breath on borrowed time. And what you gonna do with it? Let somebody else talk your dream out of you. Let somebody else talk the mission out of you. And God is watching. He gave you the idea. He gave you the creativity. He make the way for us. But you have to decide, I'm just gonna have to scale back. I'm not gonna share this with anybody else. This got to get moving. I got to get this mission moving. Let me get myself surrounded by people who's doing something in the lane that I'm trying to do, talking positive, so that I can keep my creativity going, and I can strike out and do it. Put my hands to use, because people will talk it down. You stay controlled and oppressed. That's oppressing your mission. That's oppression, even in itself. Oppressing. It's not just one type of oppression. Yes, we are supposed to give to the poor. Open up our bowels of compassion. If you have the means to help somebody else out. And let me add this. For those who might be stingy, because I don't know whose ears going to hear this or whose eyes going to view this video. If you haven't been stingy, that's all right. Life still turns. Round and around we go. The Bible says that as you give out, God bless the work of your hands. So see it that way. You want your hands blessed. You want the work of your hands to prosper and to bless as you give to somebody else who's unfortunate, especially somebody who don't have the means to return a favor to you. Then the Bible said God will bless the work of your hands. From the moment that I wake up till I lay down. Let me find my song. I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in the darkness of night. You are closer like no other. I've known you as a father. I know you as a friend. And I have lived in the goodness of God. Don't be defeated, you all. You come on out of defeat. You get on up from there and not accept defeat. God is too good for you to sit there and not push. Push past you first. Don't let defeating thoughts be the defeat and oppression. Don't let that control you. Thank you all for stopping by this channel. Take care. Have a good day.